Hey everyone, welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live cast brought to you by your friends at Frontline Gaming. We are your host. It's Kicker, me, the chief of serial, the sigilite of the FLG, and tonight we have some very special co-hosts. This is the Killzone podcast team. Unfortunately, Seth is not with us tonight. He's got some priorities, but we've got these two wonderful gentlemen. This is Emmanuel and Chris from Killzone, the podcast. Guys, you're also on the FLGN, right? You're part of our your cousins, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Killzone podcast with the launch second edition came out, and we started doing podcasts with you guys. So
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have been playing Kill Team for a long time. You have a dedicated podcast. So all you guys in chat right now, if you're listening, and watching live, shoot us Kill Team questions. I know a lot of you guys are primarily 40K players, but we have certified experts on the show tonight. If you are listening to our podcast, you should be watching us every Wednesday night live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jump in the chat. We have our entire production team in the background, just monitoring the chat and answering questions and pitching us questions if you have, something that's of interest. And, we have these wonderful visual elements to show off, like our hobby progress, which we'll get to in 1 second. But before we get to there, I got to talk to Emmanuel and Chris. Guys, anytime we have new people on our show, we have to ask you a very critical question. We're going to start off with you, Chris. What is your favorite box of sugary breakfast cereal? And if you say something like granola or bran flakes, like our last guest, we might have to remove you immediately.
To be fair, he did shift to bacon, which is the most American breakfast cereals.
Yeah, so we
had did redeem himself.
We had Duncan Rhodes on last week, and his favorite box of sugary cereal after he said bran flakes was bacon, and I'm not sure how bacon is a cereal, but we'll take it. So
Chris, you didn't give it 2 thin coats. That's breakfast.
Syrup. Right,
put the cereal on 2 thin coats of milk. Favorite thing, I don't know, man. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is probably, if I had to go for something right now, is what I'd go for.
CTC, a good staple there. Okay, I can respect that. A wise man choosing a wise cereal. And Manuel, what is yours?
Well, there's a lot to consider, right? I mean, you got the vector, the milk. What's the cereal going to do to the milk? Is it going to improve the milk? Is the milk going to deter you from the sugary cereal? There's a lot to consider. So when it boils down to, I think Frosted Mini Wheats has got to be king of the crop.
Frosted Mini Wheats. And that's also good snacking cereal, too. You can just take a handful of those, stuff it in your pocket, go to work, and just, all right. I love it. All right. Guys, every week on our show, we like to talk about our hobby progress. And if production can bring down that wonderful footage of my of my recent, accomplishments, I played a game of Kill Team, my second game of Kill Team 2 days ago. Yeah, look at that board. That board is not the new board. That was a repurposed Necromunda board, but great for Kill Team. And if you see the next photo, I've got a gorgeous crew. These are from the new Into the Dark set, which I've been talking about. I am blown away with the miniatures. I mean, everything in that box is gold. But it's just so cinematic. Like right here, this is like look at that. That is a photo of one of my crew guys with a shotgun with a Kroot hound behind him. There's a tracker looking the other way. Like the visual elements of Kill Team is just so much fun. You get down in there and you can just imagine this battle taking place. So I finished that entire box. I'll be playing a game of Kill Team Into the Dark in the new set probably tomorrow, and I can't wait to see how that new terrain interplays with it. What have you been up to, Chris? What are you building? What are you painting? What's going on with your life, man?
Oh man, so life in general. I'm rebuilding the Beernid YouTube channel, so I've been I took 7 months off of that, and but bringing that back and
Beernid. Can we do Beernid like a Tyranid that drinks a lot of beer? All right,
absolutely. That's the biomass thereafter. They come down.
I think there's a lot of human beings after that biomass as well.
Yeah, but there's none left after. That's one of the key things there. But also this here Into the Dark box.
You got one too.
Nice. Yep.
Nice. Oh, what's your favorite squad or army out of that? The Breachers, the Kroot.
The Kroot looked cool, but I had to go with Breachers 100% because I've been waiting for the Battlefleet Gothic game to come back. I'm like, come on, cool. GW, one of these days, and I get my Navy fix out of this. So
totally. Yeah. Do you think we're gonna get rules for them in regular 40K? Because I will definitely run those in 40K. Like I love Guard. If I can run them in my Guard army, I would.
I mean, what do you think that they'd go with? Like, would it be Guard, you think?
I mean, I think they'd be an elite slot, something to do with like they have an opportunity to like maybe jump out of a go in any transport they want and ideally be able to move. I don't know, do something out of the I just see them hopping out of a transport, like a SWAT car, right? You just see a SWAT van coming down the street and a bunch of Imperial Breachers hopping out and blasting away. I don't know. That's my visual.
Because here's the thing, in the fluff, they're supposed to be completely separate, right? Like by written rule of law, that you just cannot do it. So I don't know. We'll have to see. One thing though, I am going to do is I'm going to convert my Pathfinders in Kill Team to be basically Navis seals is the idea.
Nice,
Play them as counts
nice,
as.
nice. I love it. I think that the other, I guess, conversion master here is Emmanuel. You were just telling me pre-show about your conversions. Is that what you've been working on this week? This project?
Yeah. I had my hobby table right here. So I picked up. This is my assault intercess orc. See how well I can put that up on the camera.
Yeah. There we go. Nice.
There he is. He's disgraced some space wolves over here. And he's got an AdMech plasma that he's using as a shooty go bang bang.
Shooty go bang bang. Okay.
Yeah. So this is from like the new Intercessors team that Games Workshop on their Warcom site gave out like a full kill team for free, which we could talk a lot about later.
We're going to be going into the kill team topic. That's something that we really got to discuss because everyone has a Space Marine army, and now that you can get free kill team rules for your Space Marine army,
it's insane.
Boom, ready to go play.
And they're good.
And they're good. And they're good.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into some like industry news real fast, guys. Leagues of Voltan are here. The pre-orders are going live this Saturday. I'm sure they're going to sell out, so get your pre-orders in very quickly. This is only the army box, so you can't get all the other units yet. You can get the box that's got the codex in it. You're going to be able to get 2 squads of infantry or 20 infantry, 2 HQs and 3 bikes, and it's an awesome box set, man. It's awesome. But all the other units and probably the standalone codex will come a few weeks after that. I know that I'm going to get at least one of those because I am so stoked to be a League of Voltan player. We've also got the Siege of Terra books have been rolling out, and the Siege of Terra Echoes of Eternity I think came out a week or 2 ago, and I downloaded the audiobook to listen to on a run this morning. I started listening to it, and I don't know if you guys listen to Siege of Terra books in the Kill Team community or not. Is that you guys listen to a lot of 40K stuff, like the books, the Black? Yeah, you do. Yeah. The Siege of Terra stuff, by far, like I know everyone like really likes the Horus Heresy, and I know this is kind of part of the Horus Heresy, but the Siege of Terra books I just think are above and beyond anything else out there right now. So highly recommend Echoes of Eternity. Have you got what's your favorite Black Library book? Chris, go.
First Heretic.
First Heretic. Okay, good choice.
Humanized Chaos. All of a sudden you're like, oh wait, they're not Saturday morning cartoon villains. You know what I mean? You're like, yes, I might have sided with Chaos. So yeah.
And what's yours, man?
Speaking of Saturday morning cartoon villains, Brutal Cunning.
Oh, yes.
I can't wait for War Boss to come out on audiobook.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. One of my close buddies is a huge AdMech player and a huge AdMech fan. Yeah. So Brutal Cunning was like a love letter to us.
Yes.
Because it was those 2 sides going at each other.
I do play 6 armies, but I happen to play Orcs and AdMech, and I loved listening to that because I'm like, both sides of me are very, very much entertained. And also like the voices they do, it was nice to hear. I mean, if you're listening to the audiobook, not reading it, of course, the voices are very appropriate, I guess, for an Orc army. So that was great. We do have the Void King book. This is a brand new book that's just been announced. That's going to be coming up for order soon. No date released yet, but this is one that's based about rogue traders, and everyone, I don't care who you are, what game system, even if you're playing, Age of Sigmar, it doesn't make a difference. Everyone likes to read about rogue traders. So this book's got me really excited. And we got the magic cards. Finally, those magic cards that were teased a long time ago are slowly getting more information. They'll be out in the future. I've never played Magic, but I will, anything with an Aquila on it is of interest to me generally. So, and guys, totally unrelated to 40K, unrelated to Games Workshop, unrelated to the miniature game systems we love to play, but Star Wars Andor is coming out on the 21st. I mean, we're all geeks at heart. It doesn't make a difference if it's the Grim Dark or the Empire and the Jedi. Are you guys stoked for that? Are you guys Star Wars fans? Or you got Disney Plus subscriptions? Are you ready to rock that?
Oh yeah. Here's my Mandalorian with Darksaber and Grogu.
Nice.
Part of a conversion that I'm doing for the Wormblade.
Yeah.
Genestealer kill team. I just made them all Star Wars. I also play Star Wars Legion too. So yeah, I'm a bit of a nerd for Star Wars. Yes, very stoked for Endor.
And Chris, what about you, man?
Mandalorian's got so much money out of me on that Warhammer Plus subscription. Just keep paying. Like, come on, more Mandalorian, let's go.
Hey guys, if you're in chat, tell us if you're stoked about Andor too. I mean, I don't know. I think this could be up there with Mandalorian levels of awesomeness. Yeah. By the way, nice shirt, Chris. If you're listening to our podcast, we're visiting Chris. Perfectly appropriate shirt for this show. A nice Boba Fett reference there. Okay, guys. Let's jump into some I guess industry news. We do have the Las Vegas team tournament coming up. We're going to have breakfast in there, and we're going to have good food in the hall all day long. This is something we're really stoked about. I mean, you're going to be there with your buddies all day long. we were able to get you very affordable food in the hall, starting from 8 a.m. all the way till 8 p.m. Well, 7:30 p.m. at night. And we've got these epic dice. Can we show off these dice, Mr. Production Dude? Yeah, look at these dice. Beautiful, beautiful dice. If you're coming, you're playing, you're getting at least one. We might have two. I gotta count up how many we actually got. And if you, of course, pre-ordered a set, you'll get a full set of 12 of these babies. And finally, guys, we have SoCal happening in October. The narrative again is on Friday. We're gonna have some free Warhammer Underworlds on Friday as well. And guys, we have Kill Team. Dakota, he's running Kill Team there. You guys know Dakota. He's over on the West Coast. He's one of your buddies, right?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, very well.
Yeah. And I mean, would you say like he's one of the better TO guys? Like he runs like some of the better, competitive events, I guess, right?
Yeah, I was just at one of his tournaments this weekend.
Oh, sweet.
Time. Yeah,
sweet. I'm excited. So I probably will maybe play. Maybe I'll just get to play an open game like in between rounds or something because I want to play a little bit of Kill Team. I've gotten bit by the bug recently, so that's very cool. And then guys, a lot of people have been asking about the Las Vegas Open regarding the final rulings for 40K's champs terrain and any sort of maybe adjustments. After SoCal, right? So we want to get through SoCal. That's when we'll finally tweak the player packet to reflect whatever last minute changes we're going to make before LVO. So we always have, SoCal. That's the last test run. We'll look at terrain rules. We'll look at any kind of last minute changes, and then we'll update the player packet to reflect what will be played for the LVO. Okay, guys, we do have you wonderful gentlemen on the show. Please tell us what's coming up with the FLGN and what's happening on your show, particularly your Killzone show. What's your next episode about?
You want to take that, Emmanuel?
Yeah, sure. So, hey, perfect on the screen.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah. So, our previous episode was part 1 of Into the Dark. This was like such a massive release. There's so much happening with this. It's launching season 2. So, whole another season, much like what we expected from last year of Kill Team. All these Kill Teams getting released at all these box. Like they're saying it's like, hey, here's a whole nother one of that. But they're also introducing it with a whole new rule set for close quarters combat, which is Into the Dark, and 2 new teams, and an annual with 2 other new teams. All of this dropping at once. So there's way too much to talk about in one show.
So that's a 2-part episode. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we went over the whole Killzone, the new close quarters combats on the previous episode. And then this coming Monday, we're going to be going into a lot of detail, talking about the general rules, but also all the shenanigans and nitty gritty stuff that we could do for the breachers and the Kroot, which I love the Kroot.
Keep it 40K friendly so we can get some 40K, players in there listening and getting an idea like how, because I don't think the learning curve for Kill Team is as bad as it is for 40K because it's not that many armies and that much complexity. But I want to listen to your podcast just to get an idea for what this Into the Dark game is like. In I've obviously been playing a little bit, but I'd like to get insight without knowing super, I guess, the complex nuances that are slightly different from the previous edition. Are people generally really hyped for this? Like, is the Kill Team community like this is a positive change, or are they all like doom and gloom?
Well, it's not, it's just another way to explore this universe. You still, can play any other way. It's just that basically this is the support we were all worried we wouldn't get last edition. This is like telling us, okay, there's another year of boxes coming, cool. All this stuff. And so, it's not necessarily a lot different. It's just, the new teams and things like that. But yeah, the 40K players welcome to come on and look. The tagline for the pod's always been, real talk for competitive Kill Team. So We'll get you on there and we'll tell you all the little shenanigans and dirty tricks that, we can find, help you get going in competitive. So yeah.
Nice. 40K players definitely love their janky rules and tricks and how to, I love it. Guys, Who doesn't? As well on the Frontline Gaming Network, we also have Grim After Dark with Anthony Videla on there talking about how to be the best player in the world, apparently. And on the Thursday show, we have, which is coming up tomorrow, these guys, as always, cover up the weekend's events. And basically, it's the best show on the podcast. On the network. Like, there's no doubt. Sorry, guys on Killzone. Sorry, Signals, producers, production team in the background. The best show on the Frontline Gaming Network is the Thursday show. So just watch it. There's no reason, no explanation necessary. Let's jump into Killzone and Kill Team and explain to me how you guys got into Kill Team, because I'm assuming you were probably 40K players first, and maybe why is Kill Team the way to go? If not, like maybe is it a game that you play as a supplement for 40K? Sell me on Kill Team. Ready, go.
I got something that'll probably sell some people on Kill Team. I started 40K in 6th edition, 2015.
Yeah.
And shortly after, the Gene Stealer Cults rules came out. It was like when 7th was going on, right? And so I bought all this stuff to do a particular list. I wanted to play like Space Hulk, massive. So I had like 14 boxes of Gene Stealers and things like that. And I was going to do Cult, Gene Stealers coming in and regular Gene Stealers swarming. That got FAQ'd and became illegal before I could play it a single time. And so I started getting interested in things like Necromunda, which nobody played. Even the GW store, they were like, there's a sign-up sheet for people who might maybe possibly be interested, but nobody is. So
some of the best models, but I've never seen it played once.
And then there was another Kill Team for like 6th edition and stuff. And in the core rulebook, there was stuff on that. And then they'd come out with something that nobody was playing. And when Necromunda came out, I was like calling the city, like asking, can I like borrow the park's bench? You know what I mean? And run tournaments and stuff like that. And they were like, yeah, but I mean, nobody was playing that. And so 4 months before it came out, last edition, they announced and gave a teaser for Kill Team. And that's when I started the YouTube channel that day, which later became the podcast and everything, because it was like, I was determined for this game to exist. And, that's kind of what's been going on. So,
and the game does exist. It's thriving. It's in its 2nd edition and 2nd season of the 2nd edition. So obviously there's support there. There's love. Have you seen the community growing just, in general? Has the community been thriving? Is it the same players that played 1st edition as that are playing 2nd edition? Plus more, or was it a complete turnover?
I mean, there's
absolute growth. Yeah, absolute growth. There's a lot of people from last edition moving forward, but it's allowed a lot of us to kind of champion this to other people. It's such an easy sell for 40K players and for people who are just agnostic to tabletop wargaming itself. I can't tell you how many people from my LGS that are Magic players that saw the miniatures and are like, oh, that's kind of cool. How do I get into that kind of thing? But also 40K players that might be jaded about meta chasing and changing and swapping armies, or are interested in a game that takes maybe hour and a half, or they just love so much of this lore, so many different armies, but to play a whole Kroot army, what are you doing? What are you putting all that Kroot on the table? No one wants to play with that. But you can play that in Kill Team. You can play Orcs. You can play Marines. You can play Admech. You can play any variety of human that you want.
And the fact that you can make an army within a week, right? And be able to go and play. Like, I know you guys were referencing it as Big Hammer. Like, I love Big Hammer. I love 40K because that scale of having that many miniatures, that army is really cool. But also, like, it's a lot of work to put that many minis in a box and then go across town and then unpack them and then take over a whole table. Like with Kill Team last night, I just put 5 miniatures in a little box and I walked over there. Like I had a little purse. It was like a little purse box, It was like, that was all I needed. And it was really kind of, I guess, it was the most stress-free night of gaming ever. Like I didn't have to worry about like, did I get every single one of my miniatures that was on the table? No, like there's 5. Okay, I'm good to go. Let's move on.
So I've literally had 2 days to prep for a tournament before and had an army built, painted, ready to go.
So I have to ask you guys like a tough question here, and like there's no say whatever you want, but this is a fact with 40K. A lot of 40K players get a little frustrated because the game is not always as balanced. We were talking about win rates in the green room, and sometimes one army is way better than another army, and no matter how good of a player you are, your army just might not be optimized during that particular time of this year, season, whatever. And you spent like you not only is it a financial thing, but you also spend a lot of time and money getting that army ready. With Kill Team, obviously there's less of an investment in terms of money and time because you're paying only 5-10 models. But has there been an issue where all of a sudden a squad, a Kill Team is kind of outdated or irrelevant because it just can't compete right now with the new shinies toys?
No, last edition was a thing, but they have a whole new crew behind that now. And, they're watching the tournament results like a hawk. And we've got more FAQs and erratas just like in the short time that this edition's existed than the entire 2-year, 3-year span of last edition. So they are, continually bouncing. There's been a few things that, rise and fall as time goes on. But like just this last weekend, I think it was, we got a new data slate. So
cool. So I mean, I think Chris, you were telling me earlier, what's the spread, I guess, of win rates? Is it like, some things are at 30 and some things are at 70, or is it a little bit tighter than that in terms of win rates? 30%?
They are, this is public knowledge. They made a thing on it so that people can see, like, okay, they're tracking tournament win rates and keeping it between 45 to 55,
Oh, wow.
and
That's really
balancing
tight.
based
Yeah.
around that. Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
tight. Cool,
So
cool,
it's a
cool.
very hopeful thing for the community, It's
And what's really cool is that they're really not worried about changing a significant amount about a team that is underperforming. For example, AdMech, the bespoke team that they're the specialist team that came out in White Dwarf for AdMech, Hunter Clade, yeah, not Hunter Cadre, Hunter Clade. That's
Yeah.
nice and fun and confusing. But they changed quite a bit, about 3 or 4 different things about that team, shot them up into the 50 to 54% based on like my parsing through BCP. Excuse me, from that change just alone.
Yeah.
And then other teams that are overperforming, like Pathfinders, came out and they were just punching and punching
Yeah.
and punching right when they came out. They made significant changes to some of their more effective tools to bring them back into line, but they didn't squash them down to a 30.
Yeah.
From my parsing, they're still in the
It's still in
upper
the
50s.
in the running.
Yeah,
Sweet,
yeah,
sweet, sweet.
yeah.
So, okay, just asking straight up, like, is there like the most popular army to play right now? Like, is there one army that has just because they have maybe not the best, maybe they're not overly competitive, but not overly, maybe they're not having an overly crazy win rate, but they're just really popular. Like, I want to play Kill Team and know that I'm going to play, if I'm going to go to a tournament, I'm going to play a variety of armies, right? That's part of the fun of it. Do you see that, or is it kind of like everyone's playing Tau because Tau in general are one of the better, or everyone's playing Custodes because Custodes is a low model count army? Like, do you see a pretty good diverse spread of stuff out there, or is it? Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Really
it's always,
good.
it's a couple of depending on how big the tournament is, you see a couple of everything. Over time, it's just weird, and sometimes it feels like for no reason. Sometimes it's like, oh wow, there's a lot of Corsairs here. You don't see that next time. Then it's like, oh wow, there's a lot of Legionnaires here, which is the Chaos Space Marine expansion. Then it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that next time it's something else. I think Nova just happened. It was a lot of Pathfinders, which is the
yeah.
Tau kind of expansion that they've done. That did pretty good. But yeah, it's you see a good variety.
So I'm a diehard 40K player. Like, that's my game. I'm just now playing some Kill Team. I have, a toddler right now, and life is really busy with work, so I don't get that many hours in a day to play, for funsies. So that's one of the reasons I started playing Kill Team, and also just to get armies on the table quicker. But I personally feel like, also, I got to be transparent. The Kroot are what really sold it to me. As soon as I saw the Kroot in the box set, I'm like, I've always wanted. You're like jokingly saying somebody would want to play an all Kroot army. I would play an all Kroot army. Like, I like 40K. So seeing being able to play an all Kroot army in Kill Teams, like, yes, I'm sold. Like, I don't care how good they are or even what the rule system is. That being Kill Team, I'm like, I want to play an all Kroot army in some game system, and so that's what really got me in. Now that I've been playing a couple games and I've really enjoyed it, I don't. It's not like I don't want to play 40K anymore. I still love, I love Kill Team. I'm really excited for my game tomorrow. I can't wait to play another game the day after that. But 40K, it's not like it's like 40K light, and it's not even like, it's a completely different experience. I can't wait. And don't take this personally, but I'm more excited right now to play the new squats and eventually the new guard than I am to play Kill Team, because like I love those 40K armies.
Sure.
But I'm in this really interesting position where all my adult life I promised my wife I play one game, like that's it, like one game. I think I'm gonna play 2 games now because they are totally different experiences. One, I can play very casually, relaxed, and still be I can be in a relaxed environment, a relaxed mindset, but still play a very competitive game, because Kill Team is competitive. I think that some people don't think it's competitive. I think it's just as competitive as 40K, if not maybe even more so, because as you guys were alluding to, it's super balanced and the updates are rapid fire. But I do love seeing a huge army on the table. So I'm never going to get rid of 40K.
Appeal to that.
Yeah. There's appeal. And you guys both play 40K and Kill Team still, I'm sure, right? A little bit, or no? You guys only Kill Team?
I don't play 40K. Yeah.
You don't play 40K? Okay.
I have way too many orcs to be able to, but the rule system just doesn't jive with me. It's just a personal thing. Kill Team is just
Kill Team's
my passion, and Star Wars Legion is where I get my jimmies for the big big thing. But I mean,
I like
what you said about what you said about it being like an entirely different system, it's so spot on.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of a misconception with the last edition, because that kind of was like 40K light or mini 40K. It was all the same stat blocks. They kind of shoehorned a little bit to work, and they worked pretty well, but not always the best. This system completely different, and there's a different way to kind of show your talent and show your your ability to pilot an army. We call them armies, even though they're squads.
Pilot
your army on the kill zone.
It's easier, right?
It's so much less about the list building, because lists are more often than not like, you're going to take the good stuff, and you're not prohibited from taking all the good stuff for your team. But it's more so about your deployment, more so about how you pilot that team. So it's much more player centric on the pilot rather than on the list you build, which is what is so exciting for me on a competitive game like Kill Team, because I matter a lot more than just the list that I brought with me.
Yeah, that's really important, right?
fulfilled.
We don't want to play rock, paper, scissors here. We want to play a game where the pilot, the jockey, the captain of the ship is what's critical here. Chris, I believe you're saying that you play both game systems and that you're actually really getting excited for 40K in general right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's been those rumors about 10th coming, right? And
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. All right. It was just feeling that out a little bit, but I've got a whole bunch of Gene Stealer cults and NIDs that I'm just like ready to go into, and then a bunch of still on Sprue. Actually, this is going to be a massive build, I think, but like 7,000 points of Marines. So
7,000 points of Marines.
Ready.
That's, dude, you have a problem. I'm sorry.
Well, no, dude. It's the idea is have a library, right?
Okay.
Because I mean, Kill Team, like playing this has made me realize, like I to play Big Hammer, I have to have 3 of everything. And then like what's good, I get to take that off the shelf. That's how you play Big Hammer. You know, like what's good is what gets to come in off the shelf today. And, if you're not able to build that and get that going, like right now, it's going to get nerfed or FAQ'd or routed, and the list is just gone. And so I play, very competitive. Correct. Yeah, I have that competitive mindset. I like the tournaments and stuff like that, and that's like the 40K that I like to play. So that's why it's like. Yeah.
You just said competitive mindset. You're clearly like the way you're coming at 40K is like clearly with like, you seem like a very cutthroat, hardcore competitive player. That's a good thing, not necessarily a bad thing. Okay.
No.
But I want to ask you straight up then. All right. Look behind you. What is more, if you, and I'm going to put you on the spot, more competitive in terms of like, if you are a competitive 40K player, can you go to Kill Team and get a better or a more competitive experience, or is it the exact same or less? Like, I mean, I'd like you to be able to say one is more competitive than the other. What is the most competitive of the two games? Systems.
What's going to matter is when do you want to win that game? Because 40K and last edition Kill Team, I was winning games before the dice rolled. It was in the list building step. This edition 40K, if you want to win on the board, or this edition Kill Team, that's where this is. It's the tactical, not strategic kind of a thing. That is different this ed. So it depends on what you're into. The list building has its place. I could go, drop somebody off, be waiting at the dentist or something, and then just like be making a list and good to go. And that was great because I got to carry my hobby with me into the real world. But it's like, do we want to come in and play something that's already predetermined? Maybe not all the time. And what's cool is just the suite of shenanigans that is available to your team. Each team is a different toolbox, and they really keyed into, like, if you read a book about Gene Stealers, this is kind of how they're going to perform on the board.
So they do play to the fluff, because that's important, right? We all read the books, right? Yeah. So they do play to the lore and the flow. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And I mean, you can still be competitive with that. It's still awesome to eat somebody's face off and be like, that's so fluffy, and when the game and everything, it's great. But it just, I think they're both competitive. It just kind of depends on where you get your jollies. I like the in the game, like puzzling through this, like, that, what is that? There's that scene in that Vegas movie, I forget, what, The Hangover, where the guy's like card counting and all the numbers are going by his head.
Yeah.
You have those moments in Kill Team where you're just standing there. And it's like, aha, because you've got this, like I said, toolbox of different abilities and things, that you can mess with. And it's just really cool.
I mean, dude, I think that is a perfect way to sum up, this interview right now. Because I was curious, right? Like, that's what I wanted to get to is what is. A lot of people that listen to our podcast are just 40K playing casual for fun, but there's a lot of people that come to our events that are very competitive and they want to play a competitive game, the most competitive game. And hearing you say that was a really, really good way to describe it. So yeah, no, because I don't even think in Kill Team you build a list, right? It's at least the newer, like, it's very minimal, the list building, right? It's not a major part of it anymore.
Well, what's interesting is it's a roster.
Roster.
Some of them do.
Yeah. So it's like a sideboard. You just come
roster, like a sideboard, like
cool.
Exactly right, Chris.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that roster, you're allowed to select models from at the time that you see who you're matched up against.
Yeah, so you have a sideboard. I like it.
Yeah, which is really neat. Not all teams draw from that equally. Teams like Warp Coven, which is the Thousand Suns team, or Legionary, which is the Heretic Astartes team, they have a lot of room on that roster. Teams like Orcs, Commandos rather, I should say.
Yeah.
you're pretty much taking the same thing every time, and it's how you deploy them, how you execute your plan.
Cool.
Crute, which is what you're so excited about. What I love about that team is that depending on whether you're going against an MEQ or a GEQ, like depending on who your opponent is, their entire playstyle can shift dramatically, whether you're focus firing or whether you're going out and trying to cut down some 7-wound models. Yeah, they have multiple wounds in this game too, which is good. But yeah, it's so fun. And just to go back a little bit about the fluff, I'm gonna prove to you how great these teams play true to their fluff. The Void Dancer troop, which is the Harlequins team, they're performing a play. Their entire focus is performing a play. You have a lead player. If they do something that is very specific to the type of play, whether it's an allegory, whether it's a tragedy, et cetera, you get a buff. Cool. You do enough performances, your whole army gets a buff. Their whole thing is just out there, the art of war performing kind of thing. And it's so cool. And every kill team has that feel. It's really neat.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, definitely with the more recent codexes, this edition in 40K, they've been playing more like the fluff, and it's nice to know that Kill Team's doing that. And they probably can lean into it even more because you have these specialists on the roster or whatever that can really portray elements of the literature and whatnot. Cool, guys. We're gonna jump into the 40K and Age of Sigmar and Kill Team competitive track and hobby track. Rich, our producer, Tech Priest Dicky, I didn't say that. Tech Priest Dicky, can you pull up the I didn't say his other name. Can you pull up our competitive track? Do we have Kill Team first? Where are we at?
Yeah, Kill Team's first.
Kill Team is first. Chris, do you want to start off with reading the 5th through 1st Kill Team? Sorry, I keep on saying Kill Zone because of your podcast. Jeez.
Okay. On brand.
On brand, right? Who's in the running right now for the Kill Team ITC rankings?
Well, we've got John Reese, and as far as I know, this is the winner of Nova that just took place. Took it with the Pathfinders, which is very interesting. It's a team that I play. I'm currently doing all right with myself, so it's nice to see another brother in arms do well there. Then we have what is this? Carino El Michi? It's
Sorry, we apologize if we're not getting your name accurately. Yeah. We are just, struggling here to, luckily this is Chris reading the names, not me, because these names are far more complicated than normal.
Good enough. Carlos Duran, I have heard of. This is another Spain player. And then number 2, we have what I feel to be the number 1 player, especially, for the US. We have Chris Baki, was just TO of Nova, or else he might be number 1 right here. He had to step in for an emergency thing real quick. So he's doing good there, multi different faction playing guy, very versatile. And then we have Fernandos Marcos Ace. The Spanish, what are we going to call him? We got to come up with a name right now.
You got to give him a nickname. Come on, guys.
Ace is his nickname.
His nickname is Ace. He's chosen his nickname.
Choose your own nickname. You're not allowed to do that. Listen, my name is Kicker. Not allowed. Choose your own nickname. So yes. So it seems like there's a few Spaniards on. So Kill Team's obviously happening in Spain. Like it's a big.
Ace came to LBO this year and schooled us. Yeah, he came out and just wrecked house.
Wow. Crazy. Yeah.
Cool. Do we want to bring up the 40K competitive track and Tech Priest Dicky want to read it? Because I don't have it in notes and I can't read the screen. Otherwise, we can just save it for next week.
No, I can read it, Kicker. That's fine.
I can't read the little screen.
Yeah, that's what he keeps saying. I guess.
So our wonderful Tech Priest is coming in. Let's give him a round of applause. Silent, if you're in the chat, throw some claps here. All right.
Thank you. You're number 5, Thomas Ogden. Number 4, Manny Chima. Number 3, Vic Vijay. Number 2, David Gaylord. And number 1, Jack Harpster with his big Nova Open win. He's getting gets his big boy points, and he's number 1. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, wow. All right, congratulations, Jack. Moving up to first place right now. Congrats, man.
So this is 40K Hobby Track. So number 5, we have Lou Rollins. We have number 4, Aaron Kelman. Number 3, Derek Page. Number 2, Dean Pritchard. Number 1, Jacob Thayer.
All right, Jacob. Cool. And Jacob is actually.
Jacob is actually with us.
I got to tell you, Jacobs has been working on a secret project for me right now. I'm very excited.
For you?
Yeah, I need some help with some terrain, and he's helping me with some terrain. It is, Jacob and his Hobby Goblins are commission painters that do phenomenal work. We're just gonna say that. Yeah.
So you're getting a leg up. on
Yeah.
your hobby stuff. Is that what I hear? Okay.
So I kind of have this rule. I have to paint every miniature I play with, but that I don't have that rule for terrain. Like I feel like terrain is like not within that tight requirement there.
Okay.
All right.
No,
So what's going
Steve.
on with the
All
Age
right,
of
so
Sigmar?
Age of Sigmar competitive track. Number 5 is Thomas Guan. Number 4, Ridge Hanna. Number 3, Jeremy Viseri.
Yeah, that's the
Viserier. Number 2, Anthony Trentinelli. I got that one.
Yeah.
I hear that name a lot.
Yeah.
Number 1, Gavin Greigar.
All right,
Ooh,
Gavin
boy.
won last year. Yeah, so still in the lead. All right.
Okay, so the Age of Sigmar hobby track, and we don't pay Seth enough for doing this. Number 5, Evan Markham. Number 4, Jeremy Williams. Number 3, Matt Beasley. Number 2, Ricky Fischer. It's not really spelled like Fisher, but I'm saying it's Fisher. Number 1, Robert Snyder. You can message Seth and complain to him if I got your name
if you do
wrong.
have any complaints from the way that Tech Priest Sticky read your name, just send all emails to Seth@frontlinegaming.org.
That's all his fault.
He will take all emails happily. And no, guys, we do apologize if we can't read your name correctly. Send us a message. Tell us
yell at us. And
your name. Yeah. And also send us a photo of your army, because I think we need to start throwing people's armies on camera.
We used to get those all the time, and now we're not. So people need to step up for sure.
Find me on Facebook. Send me a photo of your army if you're in the hobby track or in the competitive track, because you know what, competitive players can have even if their armies are ugly, like it deserves its time in the limelight. So send us the photos, guys. Well, that's about wrapping it up for tonight, guys. You want to give us like a final statement, Chris Emmanuel, on why 40K players should give Kill Team a try?
We do have a few questions officially.
Oh, we have some questions? Yeah. Okay.
I've been asking for questions, and
you've been asking questions?
You guys have done really great, by the way. You've answered most of the questions on the way down, so that's awesome.
So let's save your final statements. Let's get some questions here. Then.
So one question was, how fluid can you make your Kill Team? Is it like super customizable, or is it kind of set in, like, do you have to get what's in the box, basically?
What's kind of weird this time is they did away with points, and there's a heart of the cards section, like that is, I think they did it for balance reasons. It's just easier to come to, and if there's a problem, we have this kind of core to mess with. But what's neat is you also have the roster to the side that you can have up to 20 models on, and you choose, you know what the opponent's faction is ahead of time, and you say, oh, I'm going against Tau. I'm going to bring in these models, and you can kind of sideboard in some extra things to help you there. So hopefully that answers your question. It's fairly fluid, but there's also, like I said, a heart of the cards to the build that a team has. It's kind of the personality and what they do, and then you get some extra little bits to mess around with on there.
And in addition to that, if the question's more about like building out the models and do you need to buy the specific box, or can you hobby and kit bash your way? I have so many Kill Teams and none of them are the official boxes. It's so easy to just kit bash these teams into it with whatever you can find, honestly, as long as they're representative. It's almost like a little bit of that Inquisitor game bled into Kill Team, where people were just so obsessed with making their Inquisitor and retinue from whatever kit bashing they could do. There's so much of that in Kill Team that you can build whatever you want to look what is inspiring. Like, perfect example for the Kroot, I'm using Cruel Boys for that. They're going to be my Kroot Boys, and they're going to be the basis for that, and it's going to be a blast to convert and build all.
But if you are not interested into even swapping something as simple as one weapon or a head or something, I think that some of the newer Kill Team sets, like the Kroot, if you bought 2 boxes, so let's just call them like $100 worth of models, maybe $120 worth of models, that would give you every single possible variant you would ever need to build them. So like, I know the Kroot, you have a stalker and a tracker, and it's both basically the same body, so you can only build one or the other. So if you really were dead set on just building the exact model from GW's rules, you might have to buy 2 sets, and that's it. Like, that's it. Now you've got every single miniature you'd ever need to play Kroot or Breachers or anything. So It's really minimal, guys. It's super minimal. And as these gentlemen have said, you can really do some very simple kit bashing to not only add theme and fluff to your army, nice. but one thing to also think about, guys, which blew me as a 40K player going into this, I was like, what's going on here? This is weird. When I made a list, it wasn't really making a list. I was looking for points and unit size. It's literally, you have 1 HQ or 1 leader, and then I have 10 recruit specialist or 10 recruit whatever the terminology is.
Specialist. Yeah, you had it.
Yeah,
It was weird. I was like, okay, so that's it. I have to have one of these and then 10 of those, and that's it. It's not like you have to do 4 of those and 5 of it's very, very simple. So that made it, I mean, like I literally opened up the book and I had a team ready to go for the first night without having to think much about it. So yeah.
Yeah, the focus is on the board this edition, for sure.
Nice.
Cool.
All right. So question, how skewed do rosters get? Are there hard melee teams or long-range shooting teams as well?
Absolutely. I mean, the Tau is a perfect example of long-range shooting. There's some guys that are better in melee, but they're not amazing at melee, but that's pretty skewed. And then you can, like look at the new intercessors that came out. You can go all chain swords, you can go all bolters, whatever you want. You can have both on the roster and then swing hard to whatever you're playing against. Totally up to you.
And a large part of the teams like orcs, you'd think all melee, they can't really shoot. But commandos, they're a very good mixed force.
Cool.
You have other teams. Which one jumps to mind? Oh, Wormblade. They have a lot of kind of, and that's the Gene Stealer cult ones. They have a lot of mid-range, but also long-range. So there's a lot of teams that also dip their toes on both sides, which is really fun to engage with. So you're not just sitting there gun line or rushing up melee and getting shot on your way in. If you want to have a mix, there's an option there for you too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's it. That's all the.
That's
where
we're at for now. We answered all the other ones during the interview.
Did it, yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Starting with Emmanuel, give us your final statement for why people should try Kill Team, because it's opportunity for conversions. What's the reasoning?
Well, the big reason is the Kill Team light rules are free on Warcom.
Free, yeah. And the intercessors are free too. The rules.
The intercessor rules are free as well. And honestly, if you play 40K, you probably have the models for a Kill Team already. I mean, Kicker, you played it and you're like, whoa, I'm blown away. This is a lot of fun. Just try it. You probably have the models already. Give it a shot. You're going to be surprised at how tactical, but also how fun this is.
And I was very skeptical, like in all transparency. So I was like, I went in with almost a negativity bias, and I was like, well, okay, sold. All right, Chris, give us your closing statement. Why should a 40K player give Kill Team a shot?
So Kill Team is, it's a fast-paced game. It's I go, you go. So it's not, army go and then your army goes and then my army goes or something. And there's a little bit of rolling in between. It's fast paced. You get going. It's competitive, but also fluffy. And it's something that for the first time, I think that there's an IP in the 40K universe where you can have a fluff lord and a cheese lord at the table at the exact same time, having a good time, and that's just something that I love to see.
That's perfect. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming and joining us this week. We hope our audience checks you guys out over on Killzone. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Have a great week, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday night. Good night.